Right. Well, if I ever wanted to know what it felt like to be an Arsenal fan, here we are, guys. Fucking hell, what another game, another shit show from first minute to last. All right, let me ask you a question. What's the first thing that you lot would want to do if you're facing a team that likes to sit deep and hit you on the counter-attack? Don't do anything stupid and don't go and concede an early goal. And yo, look exactly what we did. We went and conceded an early goal because we couldn't handle the fundamentals for yet another fucking game. And we just made it absolutely easy for Leicester City. 65% possession and no big chances created throughout the game. It's an absolutely damning stat. Some of the players I saw playing were absolutely poor today. Rudiger, any rumours of this guy potentially starting over Kurt Zouma better be in the fucking mud after this game. What he was doing for the second goal, I'll never know. It's nice to have a long ball merchant all that you want, but Kurt Zouma can do the exact same thing. Thiago Silva can do it to the same quality. Christensen can do it to the same quality. And Fikayo Tomori, who might be our third best centre-back, is leaving the club on an option to buy from AC Milan, with Maldini co-signing this guy. Fact is, it's another game where we looked tepid. We looked absolutely poor. We could have played for another 120 minutes and we wouldn't have scored that game. And with the rumours that Frank Lampard is going to be out if he didn't get a result in the next few games, that sort of performance, playing like that for 90 minutes, the players didn't look like they gave a shit. Best player we had today was maybe Kai Havertz, Mendy at the very least, because his height made it very hard for them to try and score 1v1s. But other than that, I mean, what the fuck was that? I'm going straight into the panel. We'll get the boys in. We'll start off as soon as I get through this. We'll start off with you, Alex. Alex, talk to me, man. What was your thoughts on that absolute bullshit?
What's my thoughts? Well, like I said to you during the Fulham game, same sort of mistakes we were making. I said to you on Saturday, when we come up against Leicester, they'll punish us. They punished us. You know, so where are all these people telling me, oh yeah,
we beat Fulham 1-0, you know? What a great grinding performance from Chelsea's boys. Fuck off.
yeah, Lewis, we beat Fulham 1-0. Oh yeah, maybe he's not so much a bad manager after all. Maybe we might actually turn it round. Maybe we will be challenging for this title that everyone was telling us we were challenging for after beating Sheffield United and Burnley. Oh yeah, you're negative. Trust the process. What's the process then? Because this 3-year plan I saw, this 3-year plan I saw that people were telling me to go and have a look at says that in the second season, Lampard's here, in the second season, we will be challenging for the honours. Well, what honours are we going to be challenging for under this manager? We're already out of the League Cup, yeah. FA Cup, he probably won't even win. Luton probably give us a game on Sunday or whenever it is.
Game, man. I can't be bothered. Bothered, man.
Luton, the Championship, so I'll probably give us a game on Sunday. And people telling me that in the second stage of this so-called process, we'll be challenging for honours. Well, we're not going to be challenging for honours playing like that. We're not going to be challenging for honours playing under this manager.
Yeah, and I find it really hard to think what we're going to be doing anyway based off the way we've been playing the last few games. It's been, 2 league wins since the 13th of December, and both of them have been absolute false images, no matter what way you want to talk about it. Scott, we've already spoken a little bit on the watch-along, but tell me, how did you feel going through 90 minutes of that shit?
Mate, that's worse than the Fulham game. Like, you take the results out of it, that Fulham game was hard to watch, and that was worse. Like, people want to talk about a 3-year process. This is an 8-year process, not a 3-year process. It took Liverpool 5 years with a world-class manager to get from where they were to where they are now. And people think it's going to take 3 years for us to get from, like, playing with losing our best player, a transfer ban, getting no one in. The one player we did get in now looks absolutely woeful. It's taken 3 years to go from that to, like, winning stuff. It's take 8 years. I'm not waiting 8 years. Like, I'd happily wait 8 years. Call me crazy. I'd happily take finishing 6th and 7th every single season if I could see progression and I could see a system and a way of playing and us understanding. That's the thing.
There's nothing to go off in the last 3 or 4 games.
Yeah, I'll take no silverware happily. Call me crazy. I'll take no silverware if I can see a style of play and a way of playing that makes sense and looks like it's progressing. I don't see anything, and we're still going to finish like 10th at this rate. This is dog shit. This is terrible. It's
This is
embarrassing,
the thing. It's bit looking at that one game. What did you see that could give you any sort of positivity? Barely any communication. Like passing, we could barely string passes together. We never won 50-50s. Counter-attacks was only going one way, and like we all said in the lineup announcement, it's cool changing the midfield. When Mateo Kovacic is your lone DM, you know he's going to go forward too many times at points because he is a ball progressor by nature. He's not a natural DM. We know that. So why do you play him as a natural DM? This game screamed for Billy Gilmore again, and Billy Gilmore again didn't start. Let me go to someone who might give a bit more of a level head. Vitmus, chat to me, man. What's your thoughts on today?
Yo, honestly, we're not ready. We're not ready to be in the top 4, brother. It just show you why.
That's the squad we are. It's the system. The system stinks.
Yeah, the way we're playing, it was not top 4, not top 4 performance at all, bro. I mean, to me, I know you're angry at Rudiger, but to me, that second goal was not really Rudiger's fault, you know.
Really?
I mean, Reece James fall asleep. Maybe we don't want to criticize him, but that was Reece James' marker. If we look back on the highlight, bro.
No, I get that, but you got to look at before that. Why is 2 players going for the same header? Why has Rudiger gone 20 yards ahead to get a ball that Havertz has already claimed? Then as soon as he does that, he now has to go back and chase Jamie Vardy, who we already know is going to be rapid, and he isn't going to win that battle. Yes, Reece James did get caught out. Partly his fault. It's not 50-50. It's not even mostly. I think it's mostly Antonio Rudiger's fault because he's the one that's went to chase that ball. He shouldn't have done that. He should have stuck deep. Kai Havertz is already going to claim it. Now, if you're going to ask me whether Kai Havertz is going to win the ball or not, that's a different question. But both of them went for the ball and neither of them won it anyway. So it wouldn't have made much difference.
Yeah, but bro, honest, as I said, Lampard, bro, it just depends, you know, as what Scott said. 8-year project. We can't wait for 8 years, brother.
Nah, like I'm not hearing nothing about no project or any BS anymore because here's the thing: with a project, you have to hit your targets, and we are not going anywhere near reaching any of our targets. Who's next on the panel? Dag, chat to me, man.
You know, when you go 1-0 down within the first 10 minutes, once that happens, if you have no faith of coming back,
fuck off.
You have no trust in your man.
You must be crazy. We go on a 30 game.
You're relegated.
Go on.
But yeah, I said if you concede within the first 10 minutes and you personally, like as a fan, don't have faith in your team to come back, I don't think that manager is not deserving, but he can't fulfill that role.
Bro, 6 minutes in, we were feeling that.
Exactly. So I feel like me personally, man, dude, like I'm 18 years old. Like the person I fell in love with watching the team I fell in love with, which was Chelsea, of course, and the person that made me fall in love with it was Frank. So I can't say I want him out of the job because I am a fan of him. So I can't say it. But like Dan was saying on the watch along, Roman needs to take this into his hands and act like Roman because it's about.
Mm-hmm.
I can't like it's just too consecutive. It's too consecutive. Too many not even mistakes anymore. It's not mistakes anymore. These are habits. These aren't mistakes. So like we can't.
No, but like that's to say we see the same consistent things. The only consistent things I see is that we're consistently inconsistent and we don't do anything. That's the only thing I see.
That's not good enough for me. That's not good enough. I feel like I don't know. It's about time to get some changes. But I don't think it's Tuchel. That's for sure. I
can tell you, I went through it on the live through. It's not Tuchel. Again, I'll go through the reasons again.
Go through it again. The floor is yours, my G.
No, I'm not. No, I can't because I just get into it too much. It'll piss me off. But like the guy consistently falls out with players, highlight like the experienced players, and with the board, we've already seen what happens with under Kante. If that happens, the guy, the way he likes to play is exactly what we're seeing now. Exactly the same way as we're playing now. And in fact, he likes playing with that deep line playmaker, and we only have 2 of those, and one of those never plays at the minute. So what makes you think he's going to play him? Tuchel's going to play him. The only positive with Tuchel I see is that he was the one that like played Pulisic more often, so he might get the best out of him. If that's the only positive you can draw, that's not worth getting a manager for.
Yeah, I mean, the one question that I do want to ask is because we've been asking this question for a good couple of weeks now. Lampard or system, which one is letting us down? No, Lampard or players, which one is really letting us down more out of the pair of them? Ryan isn't here. I'll go to you. I'm going to you, Adam. Adam, chat to me, man. Oh, Ryan, we'll get you on next.
I just want to read a tweet from Rhea the Shed. They said, since Roman arrived,
that one. You see that bullshit? That pissed me off so fucking much. Like, where was the fucking energy for Maurizio Sarri when you were hounding him out in January? And now you're going to sit there and say, trust the process. What fucking process?
And the funny thing is, Lewis, Sorry, actually had a process. Whether people liked him or not, you could see where he was going.
Exactly.
I could tell what was happening in the first season, even when we were playing badly. It's like, cool, we always play badly in the first season. You can't tell what Lampard's going to do. Lampard could win his next 20 games. He could lose his next 20 games. We can't tell because we ain't seen what he's done at another club for over 2 years. So we're going to sit here and let him play fucking work experience here still. It's not working anymore, man. Sorry, go on.
Like, imagine Kante got this much support from the board or this much patience. Imagine Sarri got this patience. I know Sarri left, but I mean, there wasn't patience from the fan base with Sarri. Imagine the club gave him this patience that everyone's giving with Lampard. I had a thought, right? These people who like a Lampard in are so-called proper Chelsea, right? I understand you like Lampard. Let's take it into context, right? You're in a relationship with your wife or your girlfriend, right? You love them to bits, but they cheat on you. All right, you're not going to trust them anymore because people saying trust the process. You're not going to trust them anymore. You can still love them, but you won't trust them. I still love Lampard, but I don't trust him enough to be our manager. That's the way it is for me now. And I don't see him being in charge by the weekend. He's gone now. For me, I see what Scott's saying, but for me, I'd bring Tuchel in till the end of the season. If he does a good job, give him the job on a permanent. But that's where I'm at the moment, personally.
Tuchel not gonna take a caretaker manager job, bro. You have to sign a deal. Tuchel is gonna need a deal, bro. We won't take 6 months.
If he can take a job with the option of being a permanent manager, like I think there's a slight possibility because he does. He's put himself out there for the Chelsea job. He's been offered to Chelsea already. I think he could take it. Just like I personally, for me, it'd be Tuchel. And if not, I say bring another interim manager in and see if we can tempt Brendan Rodgers away from Leicester.
Go.
Someone says send Lampard on loan, but that really got me. I'm sorry.
Lampard as assistant manager, I've already said I could probably back, but he'll never take a demotion.
Yeah,
is what it is.
We're going backwards, Lewis. Like it's as simple as that. There's no system. Listen, the second half, he made no subs in the 45th minute. We're 2-0 down at half time, and he made no subs, no reactions from the players. The players don't even want to play for him anymore. They did not. There was no reaction at all.
That game. Look at the way we played after those rumors that just came out last night. They should all be going out there and fighting, putting everything on the fucking line for their manager. That's what they're talking around. No communication, no basics, nothing.
Yeah. You know, to answer your question, I feel like as much as I want to say it's the system, at the same time, the players are not putting in performances that they were signed for. Like, look, the biggest problem I had with Tammy, especially last year, was that he was literally Bambi on ice. He just couldn't stand still. He had no physicality to him. Every single time someone put a finger on him, he'd go flying, right? Now, I understand this is a game that, first off, it didn't make sense for Tammy to be starting. We're going to play him as the sole striker while there's 3 center backs. Or for today, it was only 2. But normally, like even when it's 3, we'll go ahead and toss him in there. So I just don't understand when we have there's a CDM like a team. I don't understand why we solely put Tammy Abraham out there. It just doesn't make sense. We should have. I wanted to see Werner, especially from the first attack that we tried to do. It was over the ball. The first over the just crossfield through ball. That the first one of the season, and Werner's not on the team. Like, it just doesn't make sense. The way that we're playing and the way that we're trying to
do the thing. Do you genuinely think Werner would have had a better game up front for the 90 minutes?
Because I think his link up play would have been better.
I would say yes, because he had damn nearly 3 shots on target. Like, not on target, but he almost had 3 shots. Like, he was in more positions than Tammy was. Like, Tammy didn't get a glance at the goal, except for corners. Like, he didn't even, like, get a breath of it. He had no, like, he was literally getting mad because he was trying to make runs, but no one was finding him. So it wasn't like, it was something that at least pace would have helped us. And Tammy does not have pace like that. He just doesn't.
Yeah, I'm looking
I
at
agree.
the highlights. Fafana had this guy in his back pocket all match.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Lewis.
Havertz had a good game.
Wait, one at a time. Dag, then Alex. Go on.
Havertz had a good game. That's one thing that I'm glad, even though it might not have been what we wanted, the fact is he was being physical, even though there was two CDMs. When you have the way that they set up, they have Tielemans and Ndidi just staying back, and they let Vardy and Madison do everything else up top. But the way that he was battling with both of them, while he was flying across both sides of the field, he was still linking up play everywhere. He was the only one that was, like Scott said it during the reaction, he was the only one that was doing it, and then they subbed him off. That was linking the play. And it just doesn't make sense. It's really not making sense anymore. It just the what we want to do and what we're actually doing is just not correlating. It's lost. It's lost.
Yeah, Alex, what were you gonna say?
Lewis, you sort of answered your own question there a couple of weeks ago. Remember when we were having this conversation about how we seem to play the opposite way when we have the opposite players. Like for instance, if we had Giroud up front, we'd be trying to play through balls when the guy's got zero pace. When we have Tammy or Werner up front, you're still trying to cross it in the air when none of them's aerial ability is that great, right? You've just sat here and asked us, what is it? Is it the system or the players? First of all, we play the system that this manager picks. This so-called system. The players are also picked by the manager. Brendan Rodgers, what he does with Leicester is everything some of our fans thought Lampard was doing at the start of the season when we were supposedly challenging for a title because we beat Sheffield United 4-1, Burnley 3-0, and Newcastle 2-0. Yeah, supposedly challenging for a title. Even when we were winning some of those games, we weren't playing great football, which is why I could identify some of the frailties I was seeing. Hence, why I've been, a bit skeptical with this manager for a number of weeks now. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Brendan Rodgers is the epitome of a proper manager, and I'll tell you why. Yeah, they've got some good individual players. You don't look at all of their players and go, oh, yeah, they're fantastic. What he's done is he's organised them properly. They played a 4-1-4-1 formation today. They've got Ndidi sitting on his own, and you've got Tielemans and Madison sitting just in front of him. Loads of us have been sitting on here for weeks telling you, about how we should put two people in a pivot, or how whoever plays in that role, whether it be Jorginho, Kante, Kovacic, is going to be isolated, You were saying before the game about the transition or whatever. We're playing someone who isn't a defensive midfielder by trade in that role on his own. When, funnily enough, we have Billy Gilmour on the bench. Oh, but he's not proven, I hear people say. Well, so why were these people crying out for him to play last season then? After he had a couple of good games against Liverpool and what everyone was crying out for him to play. Suddenly, as soon as he's not picked, it's because he's not ready. What was the excuse last week? Oh yeah, but if he plays against Fulham, he might be bodied. Oh, he's not strong enough. So is Jorginho strong enough? Because if he is, I must be watching a different player, mate.
There's an update, Lewis, here on Lampard. He said in his post-match interview, he said, the situation has intensified for me a while ago. Expectations at this club are high. It's not my decision. Some things will now be beyond my control. So
things will now be out of my control.
Yeah, he said things are now out of my control. So
thank God for that. Thank God. No, can I
speak?
All right, let Ryan speak. We'll get to you first because Ryan's been waiting a while still. Go for it.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Chat to me, man.
First of all, I want to say thank you, Frank Lampard, for everything you've done at Chelsea. Because he's going to get sacked, let's face it. So thank you for getting us top four, some decent players in the youth. And now he's going to go. But yeah, the players with us, there was no chemistry between them. And we Leicester just played better than us. I mean, Brendan Rodgers outclassed Frank Lampard tactically. It should have been more for Leicester. If I was a Leicester fan, I would have wanted 3-4 with the way we played. And yeah, Frank Lampard is finished for him. That's all I can say. It's finished. I mean, I tried to back him. People making memes about him saying he's not a good manager. I've tried to back him, but he's constantly had terrible man management. What's it called? Frozen players out of the squad, playing players in the wrong position. Terrible in-game management. So yeah, he hasn't helped himself, man.
Right, go on, Kyle. What was it you wanted to say, mate?
Look, it's not a secret if you watch the Terrace what I stand with Lampard, but the reality is, you know, as much as you love the guy as a football player, as a manager, he is, you know, based on stats and taking away our subjective opinion, he is the worst we ever had. If you're honest, like the way our midfield was organized today, it was a disgrace. Kovacic was by himself. Mason Mount was all the way in the attack, and then we left Havertz alone. This is not like our top manager organize a team, man. Tammy was lost also by the defenders. They literally Rodgers did perfectly to nullify Tammy. And as much as I like Lampard as a football player, as a manager, Chelsea has to come first at this point. Come on. Even his biggest fans have to admit that this is not sustainable. We are just floating by, getting worse game by game. Even the Fulham game, we actually played horrible. We were lucky to win.
We were terrible, absolutely terrible.
We are just getting worse. We're just getting worse. What's the point of giving him till the end of the season? What? West Ham are above us now. A lot of the teams that are behind us have a game in hand. You know how many games Aston Villa have in hand? 4. And they're 3 points above us. 4 games.
4.
That's Aston Villa. 4. People want to talk to me about Leicester, and let's not talk about Leicester. Let's not talk about Wolves. If you want to do the process crap thing, what about Aston Villa? Where have Aston Villa started? You know,
exactly.
Where have Southampton started? You have to take context. As much as you love, sometimes there has to be a breakup for the best of both of you. And so far, this is not working for Lampard, and it's not working for us. And it's painful to see. I get that some people are going to hurt. But put your pride aside and think of the best for your club. Because what's the best for Chelsea right now is for them and Lampard to part ways. Because this is not sustainable. We're just hoofing around, unorganized. The players look like they're uninterested. And, you know, you can blame the players. But, like, before this game, Werner must have seen the article that Lampard was saying in the Daily Mail about us not having an assist machine or and a world-class striker. Those players are human beings. Why would you post that before the game?
Go back. Say that again.
You didn't see that. You didn't see that. He said we're not title contenders because we don't have a world-class striker and we don't have a world-class assister.
Oh, come on.
You bought one of each of those in summer, man.
A day before the game, he says that. Like, that's on you.
Had less goal involvement.
If you bully those players, they're gonna bully you back. Because they're going to outlast you at the football club. It's sad to see, but Lampard has dug himself in this hole. And it breaks my heart, but there is nothing else to do.
Well, it's like lazy stats and shit. The stuff that
people blame it.
You were telling me, Alex.
Yeah, they were blaming Nathan Adoy, who played his first start since God knows when.
Lewis,
you know, I feel for him, but I feel for the players as well. At the end of the day, this is their job as well. They shouldn't be coming to work, you know. Zuma must have said something for him to drop for the next 2 games. He's getting the Tamori treatment.
Yeah.
Where's Zuma? Why would Rudiger started 2 games on the bounce? He's not.
Do you want to know why? Because apparently Lampard prefers Rudiger as a centre back partner.
Since when?
Yes, exactly.
You can't keep bullying these players and then complain when they don't play for you. You can't do that. You can't do that. You keep bullying him. Honestly, he keeps bullying Werner. He keeps bullying Ziyech, and he bullies our players, and they're getting worse. They're getting worse.
I preferred. I honestly, I know my opinion. I prefer Rudiger and Thiago Silva as my defensive pair. That's at the start of the season.
Really?
But
okay.
No, but since
Zuma didn't do anything wrong though. That's the thing.
No, that's what I'm saying. Zuma was the one that got the opportunity, and trust me, he did a good job. So I was like, okay, then it's working. So Rudiger doesn't need to play now because I mean the pairing is working. But Zuma did nothing wrong. So why? All of a sudden, 2 games in a row.
Some of his stats are better than Thiago Silva's stats, like his aerial.
And I bet you, Tammy wouldn't get half of the hate that Werner has been getting lately.
Yeah,
he was absolutely dog shit.
He was absolute wank.
Absolutely dog shit.
That's another thing.
Wait, go on, Alex, go on.
That's another thing as well that doesn't exactly help Lampard's case. You're talking about how he, you know, might supposedly prefer Rudiger. Remember when I said to you 2 or 3 weeks ago, How many times has he shifted someone from the first team and then they're completely out of the squad? Take Tomori, for instance. That guy was starting week in, week out, yeah, up until the new year last season. Now he's going out alone. You had,
and you know what the funniest part of that loan
apparently
deal
he has a future.
Fucking Paolo Maldini, one of
yeah.
the greatest defenders of all time, has said, this is the defender we've been looking at for a while. I really rate a defender like Tomori. And we're letting him go out with an option to buy. Are you dumb?
But that's not what annoyed me, Lewis. What annoys me is he said he still has a future at Chelsea. So why do you add a cheap ass fucking buy option?
That's not Lampard's call. Lampard can't make decisions like that.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to keep him. He doesn't want to keep him.
No, that I get, but adding the option to buy, that's not in his control.
It was Lampard's fault to keep him out of the side in the first place. This is on Lampard.
Exactly. It is on
Lampard.
Lewis, like, look at the super chat, right? No cohesion and chemistry. Lampard takes out players when they hit form. Does not set up his team to play against opposition's weaknesses. That is exactly the problem. Like, to your earlier question, the fact that he does not set up the team to play against opponents' weaknesses. That's why we never start off the game correctly. That's why we're always so slow to start off, because we're trying to play our game, which doesn't make sense when we're playing someone better than us. So you try and set up against their weaknesses. Look at what they did today. They knew we can't defend. They knew we can't score against the low block, so they sat in a low block. It's not hard. It's not something you need experience for in order to play against an opposition's weaknesses. It's just something that he's not really done. At this point, I'm thinking it's more stubbornness than it is that he.
What is our game, though? What is our game? Can someone explain to me our game?
A little bit more as well. Was another comment that's come out? He said the bare minimums are to run, to sprint, to cover ground, and too many of our players didn't do it today.
Okay, yeah, it's always the players' fault, not the experience doing shit.
When the players aren't even running for the manager, that shows he's lost the dressing room. That's it. You can't get rid of the players. You get rid of the manager.
They're not putting 100% for him.
I'm convinced in their team talks at halftime and whatnot. Frank Lampard just tells him, "Yo, just run off your socks and cross in the ball." That's what he said.
Yeah, but why would they put that 100% for him if he calls them out before every game? Like, if you go on Werner and Ziyech for assists, they're saying you don't have an assist machine and you don't have a striker machine. Why would those players give you any respect if you don't respect them back? Human nature is you give respect, you get the respect.
It's not even so. This also goes back to the point, yeah.
Right, go to Alex. Alex, go on. Alex,
this also goes back to the point we were making after the Fulham game. Someone said about other managers are saying, about how our mentality isn't that strong. The mentality comes from the manager, right? We had 10 players in our box, for when Diddy scored the goal. They had
no one on the far side. Nobody.
That I will.
Using a math, right?
Lampard. That's not Lampard. That's the players. You see, like Hudson-Odoi. I don't know what he's doing. He's on the edge of the box and ends up next to the person who was next to whoever was going for the short corner. Kovacic then has to come across to take that space, which then vacates the space. He then leaves Ndidi to take that, and Ndidi's the one that scores. That's just stupidity. That's nothing to do with Lampard. That's communication.
Basic defensive. If there were if that was against Liverpool or even Manchester United, they were better defensively structured as a team. None of those are cheap goals, bro. None of those goals wouldn't score on those teams, brother. Simple, basic 1, 2, 3 goals.
Yeah, and Mendy saved us from getting destroyed 4 or 5. No, saves he made, man.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Look,
he is our only man of the match. He is our only man of the match for me.
The biggest problem for me, right, is last week, or not even last week, against Fulham. We had 70% possession. We scored 1 goal. Today, we had 65% possession. We don't score any goals, right? You no longer can use the excuse of I don't have a world-class scorer or I don't have a world-class assister when you have over 55% possession. If you have 55% possession, you have the ability to create chances.
Yeah.
That gives you the time to create chances. That's your fault. That's the game plan.
Yeah.
The game plan doesn't work.
Can we also speak about us having 3 midfielders, all 3, none of them being a person who's just a deep lying CDM, and then we take off a midfielder when our midfield was already getting exploited to play 2 up front, which done absolutely nothing but just made us spam crosses. And guess what? We had Werner and Abraham in the box. Didn't even have Giroud. So guess what? Evans and Fofana had a field day, just heading the ball away from crosses. So we're already getting exploited with 3 midfielders. So you know what? Why don't we just take another midfielder off to get exploited even more? Because I'm really trying to lose this game.
You know what the
I wanna
maddest thing
touch on
is?
someone.
We didn't even use all 3 of our substitutes.
I want
We
to
were
touch.
2-0 down the whole match.
I want to touch on someone in this super chat. You've got a guy who I shit you not, I promise you, and I promise I'm not overhyping him when I say this. He could easily be in a team where like there's a better system. He could be like European golden boy. I shit you not. And we've got him playing as a number 8, like playing as deep as he can, picking up the ball in his own half, telling him like to run around like 10 players with it.
Tell him to do everything.
He's the only one. He's the only one in the entire team trying to link up, play 1-2s, connects like anything, and you take him off.
Yeah, he was on the
player of the game. Best player.
Yeah, I'll tell you as well. Yeah,
Tell me you've got no creativity when he only
Exactly.
creates player and he
That's the
holds.
thing. We have one of the best midfields in the league, and we said that even before we started spending money last season. And now half of them has regressed. And it's Lampard managing. This guy is a generational midfielder, but our midfield's going backwards. It doesn't make sense.
Not every midfielder can be.
Do you guys see Fabrizio Romano comments? I just attached them in the private chat. If you want to read it, Lewis.
Lewis, first of all,
Go on, Alex.
First of all, there seems to be this myth going around that we don't have a creative midfielder. Well, first of all, that's bollocks because what's Kai Havertz? Right. Second of all, Liverpool. If you look at Liverpool, for example, other than Thiago, they don't really have a creative midfielder as such. Why? Yep. Because all their play comes along the flanks with their 2 fullbacks. Right? I didn't hear no one saying earlier on in the season, oh yeah, we need a creative midfielder. I'm also hearing these same people say, oh yeah, but if Lampard's to be given time, he needs to be backed by the board. These same people were saying about what an amazing transfer window we had.
Alex, you know what I just saw? Some guy said, if we get Declan Rice, it will all be solved.
No one.
How many players are we going to keep putting over patches in order for us to have a good team, man? And you're right about that. Like, a good manager, if he saw that wasn't working, he would change the 4-3-3 to something more creative. Because we don't have, as good as Mount is, he doesn't have that creative, like, unlocking touch that Kai Havertz does. But he doesn't want to change the system because he knows it's not going to get the best out of Mason Mount. He's not adaptable, man. He's not adaptable. That's the issue with him.
In the starting 11, bro. That's why he does not want to change from 4-3-3. Mason Mount, I mean, what you say, Scott? Go on.
I was gonna say you can. This is what I don't get. You saw it with Leicester today. You can play a 4-2-3-1 where Mount plays deeper. It's all about having the DM or having someone who can sit, who you know can break the play up. Because if you look at 4-2-3-1 like Leicester, they kind of 4-2-3-1, but Tielemans often goes box to box and gets forward.
Yeah,
you can play the 4-2-3-1 where Mount gets forward. We've got 2 DMs who we keep playing. One's got no defensive positioning or no defensive capability whatsoever, and one genuinely has no idea where he's meant to be on the pitch. So,
but Scott,
doesn't play.
You can't say our midfield is this bad, though. Our midfield is not this bad. Our midfield is not as bad as Lampard making it be. It's not as bad. Yeah. It's not as bad to be exposed by all these teams.
Mate, I
agree with you, bro. I believe our midfield is good. We just need a manager that can get the best out of them and put them in the position.
The way it's set up, it's not a world-class manager setup, man. It's not even an average manager setup.
But what Scott said, if we play, read the super chat. If we're going to play Mount as a deep CM beside a CDM, that means we have to get rid of N'Golo Kante. Is that it? That's because Kante is not a CDM and he can't really play that deep CDM role.
I can't lie. We are looking very, very close to maybe being at that point because he is like a little bit of both, but he isn't the complete of either.
No, I would not. I would not.
I
understand.
Unless there was a natural DM option there. But
not even that. For me, I feel like age is a big thing here.
Try and fix up a stacked midfield.
Oh, bro.
One of the issues that Lampard has right now is how stacked our team is. 3 left backs, 4
That's
goals,
not an issue.
5 centre backs.
But that's not an issue, Lewis. That's a blessing. That's a blessing. To a good manager, that's a blessing.
It's not a curse. That's a blessing. And shout out.
Ask Liverpool. Would they like to be in our position where they have players in the position? They play in Henderson as a centre back.
Yeah,
Well, I'm
these-
sick of these excuses. I'm
these
sick of
same-
all these excuses.
Exactly. These same people last season were sitting there saying, "Oh yeah, but next season we need to start buying because we don't have enough depth in the squad." Now these same people saying, "Oh yeah, but maybe he has too many options." Rubbish. I'm not hearing it.
There's no such thing.
Bro.
You can't having too many
We've
options
got
is not a bad thing.
1.2K here and we've got 100 likes. That's absolutely embarrassing, guys.
You know what?
at least
It's
put a like
it's heartbreaking, man.
When-
To see Chelsea like this is heartbreaking.
When
It
does a
honestly is.
player peak in their career? Let me hear.
It depends on where they play. It depends on where they play.
Bro,
27. For an average player, 27.
31 and 28, 27 to 31, things like that. Bro, Kante is only 30. So you're telling me that you're willing to get rid of Kante right now just because we want to
no. What I think you
One
can
more
do,
year.
what I think you can do is have him on the bench and bring him on in a game when you're winning.
No, but Vitmus,
He's
you can
30,
see he's
like I said.
declining. You can see Kante is declining.
I
bro.
was just saying, what you do is you bring him on in a game where we're winning, or in a game you can see that it's a bit more open and the team we're facing is a bit attacking. Then you bring him in to break up that play. If it's a team like today, we don't need Kante.
Kante can't be a
For
better
me,
option. He's
For
one of
me,
the-
if there was a player that was younger than Kante, he doesn't have to be faster. But if if he's a better passer and has better ball control than Kante, and is just as good defensively, I would replace Kante.
Bro, you know
Right.
the one thing,
Right
the
there for you.
one thing where most of us now get the way how some of the players are playing, it's coming out from the lack of like vibe in the camp or the manager
Yeah.
not getting
Morale.
through.
It's clear morale. It's clear
Yeah,
morale.
It's
Of course, that's true.
It's
But
moral,
he's
bro.
collecting
If you
injuries.
you know, you guys are judging N'Golo Kante based on this season where the world play
Based on like the worst manager we ever had as well. Like I'm not gonna do that. I said I'm not gonna judge any of these players until they have a world class manager above them.
Brother,
I've said this. I've said this. I will not judge any of them.
like that, bro. The whole club is having a downfall, bro. So if we can't pinpoint Kante because of how we look right now,
No one's scapegoating. Nobody's scapegoating.
We're not
no,
scapegoating.
exactly. We're saying we're gonna get rid of Kante just because we
I'm not
want.
saying get rid. I'm saying you can play him and Mount. Kind of you can switch them depending on what
Bro.
team you're playing.
Bro, Kante plays good when he can roam free in the midfield and do his defensive job and help out. When he gets the ball, he just plays his job done. Look at Kante under Sarri. That was just like 1 year and a half ago. What you
Our
saying?
midfield under Sarri. If people go look at their stats, the stats
No,
of the way
bro,
that they control the
Bro,
midfield.
Kante was balling out on the sorry film.
I think Kante's most suited position is where the way Sarri and Zola played him. I really do. I
Now,
think
but the
that,
thing is, now you say this now, but how many Chelsea fans were complaining that he was playing out of his position, bro?
Yeah.
How many fans were
I
complaining?
genuinely didn't complain when he
Bro.
was there. I thought that's actually his strength, and I said that throughout the whole season.
The way we destroyed Arsenal like in that final, man, I don't give a flying F about anybody, man.
Look at some of the goals that we scored under Sarri. Who won the ball in the attacking third and played it off to Hazard or whosoever and he made an assist.
NG.
That allows Kante to press more. He
Kante,
played like an out-and-out central midfielder.
bro, Kante, for me,
Do you-
can't leave this team unless it's actually done. Unless we get
Do
a
you
World
think?
Cup, as my guy said right here, get a
Do you
World
think
Cup.
Lampard is gonna see that banner that they made for him at the bridge?
If Kante is not performing and
You know he's
everyone
gonna see it,
Honestly, do you think he's gonna get to see it, man? Because
Bro,
I
the only
honestly don't
thing,
think.
bro, the only thing he's gonna
Kante's
see is
declining, but he's
45
still
plus.
not finished at the top level. Kante's declining, but what's it called? His standards are so
He's
high.
not.
He's setting
He's
bars so
not
high.
declining. He's playing in a midfield that doesn't have any structure. I've never
He's
seen Chelsea so unorganized in my
declining.
life. Even
He's
after
not.
AVB, we were not this unorganized.
He's declining, but I think the whole midfield bar Mount bar Mount actually is declining.
But
Yeah,
Scott,
exactly.
give them a chance. Give them a chance under another manager. You know, give them a chance under the manager. And I'm thinking, these players get a lot of hate over nothing. It's not their fault that they're playing under a manager that literally doesn't know how he's doing. It's not their
I
fault.
mean, I'm not hating on Kante because he's declining. I love Kante, but he has declined. Aspilicueta has also declined. I'm not hating on him, but we know.
So has Pulisic, though. So has Pulisic. So has Ziyech since we signed him. So has Werner.
everybody declined, bro.
So has Werner. So has Havertz.
Everybody
All our players have declined.
But in ability, he hasn't. In form, he's declined Pulisic, but in ability, he hasn't. All right.
No, we don't need Rice. We don't need Rice. I hope that Rice dream dies with
We
Lampard as a manager.
need the end.
No, we're not getting Rice. I
What gets
don't want.
me- What gets me, is people are still sitting there saying, "Oh, but he needs time with the players he's got." So then, why do you want to go and sign Declan Rice? Because if you're going to sign him, that's yet another player that needs to get used to his tactics. That people
Is
are
West Ham
telling him.
above us now? Anyway.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, there you go.
Apparently, he needs time with these new players. Well, how
He
comes
doesn't need time.
How comes Dean Smith doesn't need time then? He's brought
No.
a goalkeeper in. He's brought Matty
Alex.
Cash in. He's brought Watkins in. He's brought Traore in, and even Ross Barkley on loan when he plays.
I agree he needs time.
Us with 4 games in hand. I'm not.
I agree he needs time. I think he needs time at another club to develop his game.
Yeah,
Chelsea isn't the place for him.
Exactly. This
It's
club
not
is
the place
not a
for
club.
him.
Exactly.
It's not an
This
you
is
cannot
work
experience with a
experience,
2.7 billion pound club. You cannot experiment with learning new crap.
Exactly.
You know.
There's no work experience.
This isn't work experience.
Imagine if your heart surgeon tells you, "I'm learning on the job, man." Imagine, like, no,
bro.
This ain't work experience, and I'm hearing about Rice supposedly being around the £80 million mark. He's already got £200 million he spent in the window. Why are you going to give him more money if he can't even do a job with £200 million, man?
Pulisic has gotten worse as well, and I'm surprised Pulisic is that bad.
Lampard done what he needed to do last season.
Jesus
Now,
Christ.
he's overstayed.
Who cares about Mount if the whole team is losing, man? Who gives a flying fuck if he runs around but we played like shit? Who gives a shit? What is it with these people, man? It's like they're fighting Sarri against Lampard. We don't care. We care about Chelsea. Chelsea are doing bad, man.
I know, but Sarri got. No, what we're trying to say is that Sarri got so much stick from the same people that are saying give Lampard time.
Sarri was never this bad. Sarri was never this bad.
Lampard is a club legend.
Yes.
I couldn't care less if he's a club legend. I couldn't care less if he's a club legend or not.
That's irrelevant.
I don't care. I agree with my guy right there. I respect the club and I'm supporting the club, not the manager at this moment. Bro, as I said it, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, I'll still be supporting Chelsea. So if a manager comes and fucks himself and we have to get rid of him, let him go because the club needs to go forward. We can't.
You know what we should do? You know what we should do? We should try to get Brandon Rodgers because he's as loyal as Pamela Anderson, man. Just give him a little bit of money, he'll come, you know?
Hey, we're gonna get the thoughts of a rival fan because I want a neutral perspective on this. Neil, what a victory for you guys, but it was also handed to you on a silver platter, bro. What's your thoughts, mate?
Look how happy he is.
I told you 2-0. Honestly, I told you 2-0. This team is mad, and I know you guys didn't turn up today, and that's a fair. I get it why you guys are angry, but I think you have to give it to us at a certain extent because at times it could have been more than 2-0. I mean, there was a couple of opportunities. Mendy saved you quite a bit as well, and we're just flying at the moment, and we've just done our show on our end, but we're just absolutely buzzing at the moment. I know I tried to change the conversation a little bit, but at the end of the day, you can see what we're trying to achieve, and we're nearly there. I mean, we're not thinking about winning the league. If we still get top 6 or whatever this season, still a good season. It's all about consistency for us, but I'm more than happy with how this is going because I didn't expect to see that good performance today, but Chelsea, you really did play into our hands.
It's not that hard against Chelsea nowadays, believe me.
I
give it to them, man. You just need a little system.
I definitely expected to see a performance like that because Leicester actually have a proper manager, mate, who gets the best out of his players.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Would you guys go for Brendan Rodgers?
Yeah.
Would you take
we already spoke about it.
Yeah, he would have come.
It took him time, though.
No,
it took him time.
We could tempt him away.
One at a time. But
look at their midfield compared to ours today.
Midfield in the league.
You see our midfield, right? I've seen more movement in Madame Tussauds, mate. Absolute shit.
This is crazy.
And you look at Leicester's midfield. That's a proper midfield that the managers, put together. And could he do that at Chelsea with this group of players? 100%.
Listen, Frank Lampard's overstayed his welcome. He should have been gone. He should have been gone at West Ham. He should have been gone at Villa. He should have been gone at Arsenal. He should have been gone at City. He should have been gone at Fulham, and he's still here. So now Roma needs to give him his P45, or he needs to respectfully resign from this club. If he has an inch of dignity and love for this club, he needs to see that we're regressing and needs to step down as manager to see us get a good manager in and try and salvage something from this season.
Lampard will never quit at Chelsea. He would never quit. He would have to get sacked.
He's got too much pride. I
think it's just he won't get that 5 million or whatever it is.
He loves the club too much to walk away from it.
Yeah,
he loves the club too much.
I think. Honest, Neil, I want to hear from your point of view, from the outside in. What are you feeling about the whole Frank Lampard scenario, especially after seeing us play for 90 minutes?
I mean, for the quality of team that you had, it should be doing a lot better. There's no excuse all around the pitch. There, at times you could see that there was something that was happening, but it just didn't happen. And with the players that you took on the pitch, it just something ain't working. And if you don't give Frank time, the next manager is going to be gone in the same amount of time, in my opinion. So for you guys, if you stick with him, look, we've stuck with Brendan Rodgers, and again, it could have been easy to throw him out, easy. You have to give players time, and I know Chelsea's in a very different position to Leicester, but you can be in our position next year, 100%.
It's also a very, very much different position between Rodgers. Rodgers have been in management for a long ass time. He also has a pedigree. He managed good clubs. Lampard, what faith should we just put in Lampard? For what?
I think
based on his Derby experience.
Based
on what? Why should we put faith in him if he hasn't proven it? Why should we put faith in him? He has done nothing. Has done nothing as a manager. Why should we give him another 3 years?
We were saying that about Arteta. We were saying about Arteta and Oli earlier on. It's just Lampard.
But where is Arteta? Where is Arteta? But they have. Where is Arteta? And look what Oli has. As much experience as Oli has.
The difference between Arteta and Lampard and Oli and Lampard is Oli is a good man manager. As much as you guys hate him, these United guys want to play for Oli. And the difference between Arteta and Lampard is Arteta has a bit about him tactically. Do you know what I'm saying? You saw the goals that they scored against Liverpool last year, Man City. That's a style of play. Lampard doesn't go either. The players don't want to play for him, and his tactics. He does have tactics, but those tactics are dire. They're stagnant. You can coach a competent press, but then at the end of the day, we're still funneling it down the wings, and we're trying to cross it to who? No one. And we tried to cross the ball into Kante in the Arsenal game. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and building on to that point, Lewis, someone made a good super chat about 10 minutes ago about the difference between Lampard and Oli is Ollie's only ever one sack or one game or 2 games away from the sack, and he'll turn it around and go and pull 3 or 4 results out of the bag.
Yeah,
this manager is yet to do that with these players, right? I'm sorry, right? We've regressed since the start of the season, and we've most definitely regressed since last season. I had people telling me we haven't regressed. Hold on a second.
Of course we have regressed.
Quick question, because I need to go through a few super chats as well. First one says the squad good enough to get top 4 considering competition around you. I feel like I might as well ask that for everyone. Different manager, we probably would make top 4. With this manager, I'm not so sure. What signings could help? Like
CDM,
a CDM,
a new manager.
CDM.
Nothing will help, man. I don't think. I think.
We already made £250 million.
We're not even organized as a team. How can we?
Like we need more.
We need an hour man.
Well, our issue is in players. Our issue is in players. This is how we're not organized as a football team. When we counterattack, our counterattack is inefficient. Like the way we counterattack, we're not organized in transition. What's the point of spending more money on a CDM? And he wants Rice 80 million, 60 million on a player that arguably you can get better players internationally than him for the same amount, if not less. Why should we invest more in the manager that let us down on a weekly basis since December? It doesn't make any sense to me. From a business point of view, you can't convince me. Like looking at it from somebody who works in a corporation, you can't convince me to spend money on him.
Yeah,
you
can't. We were in for Thomas Partey before this, and then we end up saying no to him because we wanted Declan Rice instead, and he filled the mold of what a Lampard DM would be.
Thomas Partey next to Kante. Actually,
that's what
I can't even have faith next to with Lampard at this point. We just need a new manager. We need
guys going forward. Do you guys think we should play a 4-2-3-1 with Kai?
That's what we need to play.
Doesn't matter what we play. It's gonna be the same result.
No. Going forward with a different manager playing 4-2-3-1. That's the thing. Not with Lampard. That is gonna be the same thing. But
Lampard
need a manager
formation. If he changes his tactics when he goes 4-2-3-1, that might help. But I don't see.
Yeah, but it's not that simple just to change your tactics and expect for the best. That's not how it works.
Let me just say a thing. Last season, I've said this a few times. We saw a Lampard with tactics changing from 3 at the back to 4-2-3-1 to 4-3-3. This season, as we have said, the man has gone backwards. No changing. What?
And funnily enough, this is the same thing we used to criticize Sarri for, not changing it up.
But Sarri thing was working.
This is my point. But this is exactly my point, right? He at the time, I'll hold my hands up. I didn't exactly have 100% confidence in him. And then, towards the end of the season, I thought, you know what, maybe this is going somewhere. Because believe it or not, that guy had a style of playing where you could say, you know what, there actually is a process. In a year's time or two years' time, we'd be right up there. This manager has regressed. We do not have a style of play. Yeah, and this non-existent style of play that we're currently doing is hindering so many footballers' careers in our team. He's not getting the best out of Havertz. He's not getting the best out of Werner. He's not getting the best out of Kovacic. There's so many more players he's not getting the best out of. And would another manager do a better job with this group of players? Most certainly.
No, but you know what the thing? Most of these guys were playing very good at the start of the season. So it's just something happened in the changing room or what, because Lewis, how many times have I been on the Blues fan TV praising Kovacic? And now he's gone to shit. You get me? That's what I'm saying. When we were 14,
because you can't blame Kovacic for today because
no, I'm not blaming him.
For me, the whole midfield was dog shit.
Right.
I wouldn't blame one player. Even Mount was shit.
Wait, stop.
As much as he ran, he was shit.
Finish your point, Vitmus. Go on.
Oh no, I'm not blaming Kovacic. I'm just saying that when we were 14 match unbeaten, everyone was pulling their weight and we looked better than now. And it just started from that Everton game or some. It just went down from there. Downhill. Everyone just it's like the steps we made forward, everyone has taken them back and then went further back. So I don't know, bro. Lampard, something has clearly happened in the changing room that we haven't heard about as yet.
Lewis, can I say something?
Lampard said a link as well. I'll send you a link if you want to jump on.
Lampard has said Chelsea is not a club that's ready to compete.
Please.
Are you getting Kante vibes going, man?
Everyone stop. Say that again, Adam.
He said Lampard has said Chelsea is not a club that's ready to compete. But no, proper Chelsea.
It's time to go.
Proper Chelsea. This guy's our manager because there's a process. But this same guy, where there is a process because he's a club legend, is saying that we're not ready to compete. But people still want him as our manager. Come on now.
Listen.
Because they lack logic and common sense.
That's why. Is he talking about a top 4 race? Because there's a very clear difference.
Exactly.
If he is more specific. If you're telling me we can't compete for top 4, get out. Just get out. If you're talking about a title, like, can you really even say anything different though? Like,
Lewis, the 3-year plan, the 3-year plan the club said, when he was first appointed was in his first year. He was, and this is the club's words, to stabilize and forge a cohesive unit with a young squad. All right, cool. He's achieved that. Second season, challenge for honours. He just said we're not competing. So then, surely we're going to cross that off. He has to go tonight then, doesn't he? Because this so-called process everyone's telling us to trust isn't going to plan this season.
Yeah. So who's replacement then? Who's replacement then if you get rid of
Hassan Hootel.
He's not going to leave Southampton.
Yep.
You never know. Anybody is viable, man. Anybody you can buy if you pay them enough.
There's not anyone viable. Like, you never know with Hassan Hootel because, like, you look at Southampton, they're not really not a big club in terms of like stature, but just in terms of like the money they can spend and who they can bring in. You look at what he left in Germany. He left Ingolstadt to go and manage a newly promoted team simply because they were in a better position to finish higher up the table. So depending on what we offer him, depending on the promises, depending on whatever, we could. And he was the guy who unlocked Werner as well. So at least we've got that to like.
Did you see his comments about Lampard and his use of Werner anyway?
Yeah.
And Boz.
Bro, this is the guy that actually knows what he's talking about
right now,
bro. And you know what? If the club asks me, is like, can you give us one sufficient proof that Lampard isn't good enough for Chelsea? I would be like, look at Aston Villa. Look where they came from. 4 games in hand and 3 points above us. And I'm sure after that just statement alone, the club will be like, we have no excuses.
Everton are above us with 2 games in hand.
Oh yeah, no, we are top 4 if we keep him. I already said this since the Wolves because I saw this coming because we have no plan.
We are guaranteed by the end of the week, I think, to be 10th.
Yeah.
Hey, Arsenal are breathing down our next year. They're 2
points behind us. Yeah, 2 points behind.
Yeah, exactly. Arsenal sitting 2 points behind us now, breathing right down our necks. Let's face it, within the next couple of weeks, they'll probably overtake us. This is the same Arsenal we were all laughing at a month or two ago because they were in relegation form. Well, what are we in then?
You know what, Alex?
Relegation.
You know what, Alex? We shouldn't have touched them without gloves, man. We got whatever they had, man. And now all of a sudden they're winning their games like crazy. I don't know what happened, man.
That's
Honestly.
Jamie Redknapp's comment. Be a dream, man.
What's
Be
Jamie
a dream
Redknapp?
manager has to
Go
win.
on, Alex.
Jamie Redknapp said to give his cousin more time because he knows a lot about football. He goes,
That's great.
he ripped into
I would say that about my cousin as well if he's gonna get a job, man. Or my nephew.
He ripped into every single player on Sky Sports after the game.
Monster, bro.
He's not
The players weren't good.
Hey,
The
listen.
players weren't good, but I'm sorry. He picked Rudiger. He was terrible. He chose to take Havertz off despite being our most creative player in the entire team. He chose to take Hudson-Odoi off despite the fact that Pulisic had done nothing either. He chose to start Tammy Abraham despite the fact that our only good bits of play were when we did quick 1-2s. Tammy Abraham doesn't link up the play. Like all of the people that were the worst people.
Players whenever he got the ball down, like it was too much for him.
Now, Tammy does link up.
It's not even that. You look at like there was a couple times we could have done 1-2s. Like we talked about it. There was a time I noticed. I think someone went to do a 1-2 with him. I think it was Sesh, and he's run past the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, the chemistry's all over the place, but that's the thing. We aren't playing as a team. We're playing as 10 individuals and a goalkeeper just saving us whenever they counter us.
Yeah, that style of play formation doesn't suit us at all, man. I don't know how every fan can see it, but Lampard can't.
There was
Like,
no,
do you know what? Yeah,
no communication.
Like we look like
barely
horrible.
any tactics. You got players pressing whenever they feel like it. Our only hope is we get the ball to Silva, passes to Rudiger
And hope
for a little
a
bit.
cross will go in.
back
Yeah.
to Silva, back to Rudiger. He tries a long ball out to Ben Chilwell, who goes forwards only to pass back.
Or it goes out of play.
Move it up to Tammy Abraham, who by the time he's taking it down, there's 3 players around him. And
but do you know what's?
there's no other tactics in the play other than keep ball. That's it.
But do you know what's also disappointing? You know, we're here talking every week here about who should play up front, who should be in the midfield. If there's one thing, yeah, that I'd say Lampard has got right this season, or you know, something where you can say, yeah, he's got that down to a T, then it's our back 5, right? And now even that is changing.
He's changing.
You know, I thought, yeah, a few weeks ago we could say our back 5 every game. You know, we know our back 5. You know, it's going to be Mendy, Chilwell, Thiago, Zuma, and Reece James at right back. Yeah, he's now taken Zuma out, so now he doesn't even know what his best backline is.
He's digging himself a hole. He's digging himself a hole at least.
That one out, but it all screams panic. He's right now in panic mode, trying whatever he can to work. That's why we see.
You reckon he had an issues with Zuma?
Of course. Why stop using it?
He's gonna pull out with every one of us.
Bro,
that's the second game he had to play.
That has won the most headers in Europe.
He's
So
doing
ability in Europe, in my opinion, right now. He's definitely up
play-
there with some of the top players.
No,
look.
he was at the top. As in the defender with the most won the most duels or something like that, and then he's not playing now. So it has to be something with Lampard and Zuma. It has to be. There's no other I wouldn't be putting out one of my best centre backs of the season on the bench for no reason.
Yeah, I just like I feel like we just repeat the same thing over and over again, and the only person who doesn't seem to listen or try to change is Lampard.
Yeah,
because even Matisse, I feel bad for Matisse, man, because Matisse have lost it today, man.
Matisse, what happened with Matisse?
He has lost. Go look at his Twitter, man.
Oh, what
Do you know what? Honestly, I wonder if Lampard watches this, or like any of the players watches like they watch this, because it'd be very interesting to see what like the players takes and even Lampard's takes.
I think they're just tired. I think they're emotionally tired. Like they're tired of it. Mentally, they're not. If you look at them, like if you look at Werner's body language whenever he was shouting, I think it was a Mount or to Chilwell, and the players just arguing with each other.
He came on to be a second striker and played as a number 10. That's how deep he was having to drop in to get a ball.
But that goal is not offside. That goal was not offside. I don't fucking know how it was offside, man.
I mean, we were raging about the offside, but I barely even want to go too much into it because we were.
That's no excuse for how.
You know, I've got a question for Neil about Leicester. Why isn't the media no one taking this team seriously as a title contending team? That's what I want to know.
I think we're not bothered. Like. You gotta remember the Leicester fans. We're so small compared to likes of you guys, compared to Arsenal, compared to Man United. We're not on the same level. Our fan base is way, way smaller. And you look at, I'm guarantee you right tonight, the way that Leicester it will be Chelsea were crap, Leicester weren't good. It will be Chelsea's crap, Chelsea's crap. We've seen it before. We beat Man City 5-2. It was all about how Pep got his tactics wrong and how we've seen it time and again with Leicester. And we saw this time last season, we started to slope. And I spoke to Lewis about this when we played you guys in the Cup, when we played you guys, I think, for the under the radar. It's where we want to be. Like I was saying to Lewis on his show yesterday, we were 2008, we were in League One. Like that's not that long ago. And in that time, we've done really well to be in the champion, to be in the Premiership. We're doing all right. We've got a philosophy. We've got sick owners. Rodgers deserves credit. The players deserve credit. Everything is working at the moment. We've got £100 million training ground. If you've not seen it, check it out because it's
quality
madness at the moment. So things are looking for us. But however, this project has been coming since 2016. We won the league. Cool. We had a team. If you see who's remaining, Vardy and Schmeichel, literally every single player has been turned into a new player and changed and taken out. And Albrighton.
Thank you for drinking water, by the way. You know,
it's a philosophy and it's worked. So I don't want to be taken seriously as title tenders. Like when we won 2015-16, everybody wrote us off and write us off again because until about a month before the end of the season, I mean, literally Aston Villa go on a run, they're up there with us. And it's literally people are forgetting about Southampton and stuff like that. And to be fair, Southampton on Saturday was actually a better match, going to be honest, than you guys were today.
Jesus Christ. Thank you, Neil. Thank you.
They played us on the park.
They got a philosophy, a manager.
First was Southampton telling us this, and now you guys. Oh my God.
No, but you got spawned.
No, but a fox, bro. Southampton.
No, I agree. Leicester has been a much better team.
We should have been down.
Playing better. Better
We should
football.
have been down 5-0 today.
Did any of you notice that Chelsea Twitter didn't even post like anything from Lampard or anything since just posted the final result?
They're getting ready their goodbye for Lampard.
Tomorrow we're going to hear a comunicado oficial, and it's going to be it. And at the very least, maybe the negativity will drain. From
What's going to happen to the What's going to happen to the banner, man?
The Alkies can go drink another Stella and cry
Hey,
about
Louis.
it. We're all done.
Louis,
Can I just say, like,
you see how much time I said this, Louis? I say it to you now. What is the style of play Lampard is asking us to play? I can't see it.
Can't see it either.
Cross and hope to the gods of football if it goes in.
What our game plan was, and it was just Rudiger to Chilwell or Tammy, and let's hope something works.
No, but you know the thing is, we started the game positive. You know, the way we started the game, I'm like, whoa, we look like we can possibly do something today against Leicester until we concede the first goal in 5 minutes. It's just we were playing well in that first 5 minutes. We look like Leicester couldn't touch the ball in the first 2 minutes of the game.
It's only 1-0. It's still your guys to play.
No, yeah. Speaking of, did you see the press release that Lampard did? He was like, "We were the better team against City for the first 15 minutes." I can't believe he actually said that to the press. Does he know the game is like 90 minutes?
Bro,
honesty, man. This is becoming shameless.
That's regressed this season. Like,
oh my
I
God.
don't really. Okay, I'm gonna go around the table and get everyone's final thoughts because we do have to get started on the phone in very soon as well.
Yeah.
Final thoughts, mate.
Listen, well, I think I said before the game I was optimistic about even getting the point. I said to you last week we'll be lucky to get a point. You know, it's sad to say, but it does appear as if he will probably get given a sack within the next few hours. So, you know, thanks to Frank for everything he did do last season, and you know, it's a shame it hasn't worked out as I wanted it to work out because I did want him to do well. But I'm sorry, I can't back something I don't believe in, and I'm not going to be told to back something or a club legend just because of his status at the club when I don't see any real progression. So that's all I have to say on the matter, really.
All right, cool. Scott, next. What's your final thoughts, bro?
The guy's tactically naive. Like, he's a legend. I love him as a player, but as a manager, he's not it. He's completely bereft of knowing how to set a team up, and this is it. He needs to go. It's simple as that. When you've got every other manager bar like maybe two having like setting up a team in a better way and understanding how they need to set up against certain players, you can't go on. That's done. It's done.
All right, Vitmus, what about you, man?
Yeah, like Scott and Alex said, I mean, yeah, thanks for everything you done, yo. You come in, you brought some good players in for the next manager to work with. You gave us top 4 last season when no manager wanted to take the job because of the transfer ban. So the job is just out of his depth. He can't manage it. He's inexperienced. I mean, we love him. As Alex said, I would love for him to succeed as a club and become a top manager and even give us a league or a FA Cup just to say, yeah, Frank won it as a player and a manager with Chelsea. But again, as Scott said, it's not working. And I mean, I want him to be there, but we can't sit and watch this. I mean, if we're losing playing well and we're seeing where we're going, then fine, we can say, okay, yes, we can definitely see what's going on and give Lampard some time. But we're losing awful. There's nothing. There's no football. Chelsea are not playing any football, and the players are just doing what they know, just to pass the ball to each other.
Kai, what's your thoughts, man? I know you
Lampard.
To me,
I love you as a football player, as a manager. I never wanted you here, and I don't care who you are. If you're a legend or whatever, having 40% win rate over 2 seasons is a effing disgrace. No matter who you are, it is the worst Chelsea manager based on stats to ever grace Chelsea, and unfortunately, you have to go. You have to go because the players are starting to dislike you from the crap you're saying about them on a daily, weekly basis. You can never take responsibility. Everybody's at fault but you. But you know what? When you have less than 50% win rate, it's all on you, my man.
That's Ryan, chat to me, bro. What's your thoughts?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just got to swallow my pride. Everything I said about Lampard, just have to say it didn't work out this season. He's out of his depth. Hopefully, he can come back when he's got some more managerial experience. But yeah, if we keep him, top 4 doesn't look like it's happening, especially with the way Leicester's looking, Man United's looking, Liverpool's looking, Man City's looking. So we're gonna have to get him out now and get maybe an interim or a proper manager to try to salvage this season and get top 4. But yeah.
All right, cool. Sorry, just sending off links to the phone. And Adam, chat to me, bro. What's your thoughts?
Well, firstly, regarding to the game, I want to give full credit due to Leicester because they are a phenomenal side and they don't get talked about enough, in my opinion. Regarding to Lampard, I'd like to say what they said. Thank him. I'd like to thank him. You know, the job. I don't regret him being our manager because he did a good job last season. It was written for him to come in, got us top 4, but it's now time where we have to go into a bigger manager with more experience on the philosophy to take us to the next level. And Lampard's going to take us to a lower level. But thank you, Frank. But it looks like it's game, set, match done for him. He's gone off.
All right, Cos, chat to me, bro.
Yeah, bro. Man, I sound like a broken record, man. I've been saying this for the longest. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's time to go, bro. He's overstayed his welcome. You know what I'm saying? We're thankful. We're gracious about the top 4 thing last season. But, yo, we all knew he was out of his depth. And there was a lot of, fairy tale fans wanting this to work. We wanted it to work at the end of the day, but the signs were telling. And all of these fans, a lot of these fans on Twitter and on the live phone and comments, give him a chance, give him a chance. We're 10th. You know what I'm saying? West Ham are above us. Arsenal are 2 points behind us. This is the cold hard. This is the facts of reality. We spent 200 and what mil, and we still got a bad manager in charge. You know what I'm saying? I'm so thankful for Roman Abramovich being a winner. You know what I'm saying? He wants the best for our club, and the fact that a lot of these fans don't want the best thing for our club and want to give time for a manager who has a 3-year plan who's not succeeding is telling, to be fair. So thanks Lampard for the memories, but yo. You know what I'm saying? Upwards and onwards, we need a serious manager in it.
All right, well, and final thoughts. Last but definitely not least, especially in the Premier League table. Neil, chat to me, bro. What's your final thoughts, man?
36% possession, 64% Chelsea, 8 shots on target, Leicester, 9 Chelsea, 6 shots on target for Leicester, 5 for Chelsea, 7 fouls for 16. Thank you. I've been Neil from Beyond the 90, and we'll see you later.
I'll see you straight on the phone. Guys, if you lot are straight here and you want to find out where you can find us all next, check the Blues Fans TV phone, and we're literally going to start that at 11:30. That one's gonna go in for fucking hours. I can't.
We're gonna be in at 5 in the morning, Lewis. You know that.
Yeah.
Brilliant. By the time
We put something on in the background. But guys, check out all of these lovely guys' socials if you guys haven't done it as well. Check out the Best Leicester City Fan channel on YouTube if you guys haven't checked it out. Beyond the 90, you'll see him again on the phone in as well. Take care. Up the Chelsea and Luton next. Ha! I can't get
Lampard not in charge.